Thanks for joining us here at Rose Quartz Mediumship podcast, where we simply adore anything and everything healing and metaphysically based. Over the past couple of weeks, I have been in a really rapid state of transition and transformation. And I've been putting myself in environments that promote expansion for me. And an aspect of that has been being in water and around water. And the other day, I had space in my schedule on a weekend where we could have done things around the house and accomplished stuff. Or we could have taken a couple hours and gone to the ocean. And the issue is that we would have spent almost as much time driving there and back as we would have had at the ocean. And for a moment, I said that doesn't make sense. And then I realized the ridiculousness of what I was saying to myself. Even if we spent nearly as much time driving as we had to be at the ocean, I knew that putting myself there was going to shift something inside of me. And it's something I'm very well aware of in myself, that when my schedule is too full, it doesn't give me the space to receive messages, to receive downloads, to integrate shifts, to be in the feminine, in the receptive, where I'm able to get messages and clarity and direction and integrate big shifts that I'm in the process of making. And so on paper, it might not make sense. But from an energetic standpoint, it made all the sense in the world. And so I went to the ocean and was fully present with the ocean. I didn't go to the ocean thinking, I am going to get a download, or I am going to get an epiphany, or I'm going to integrate a shift. I just put myself in the environment where if that was meant to happen, it would. And it did. As these things happen, I got all sorts of downloads because I had the space. I had the capacity inside of my energy body, inside of my nervous system, inside of my mind, to have the download come in. And it's something that I think I haven't done well in various different phases of my life. I've kept myself so busy, my schedule so full, that it was impossible to get these downloads. And so as I create more space in my life, as I regulate my nervous system more and more and more, and come out of the anxiety pattern that I've been running in my nervous system for so many years, and learning how to just be, and learning how to relax, more and more downloads and clarity are coming through for me. And this particular day was no different. And when we got back from the ocean, I had a couple client sessions. And at the end of seeing my clients, I was talking with my husband about what we were going to do the rest of the evening. And he said, I could really watch a movie or something that's just disconnecting. And if you know me, you know that I'm not a movie watcher. I'm not a TV watcher. I never have been. I don't judge it. It's just has never been something that I feel a big draw towards. And I said, okay. And he kind of jumped and looked at me and said, really? We can watch a movie? And I said, yeah, but not a bad one. And I said, the last time you picked out a movie, it was horrible. And so on some level, we had an agreement that he was going to be picking out the movie, but then I did. And he was like, you're picking it out? which essentially meant it was going to be some sort of romantic comedy. And it was. And I don't even remember the name of the movie. But in the movie, the mother dies. And there are moments in the movie that are really emotional. And we were laying in bed watching this movie on a laptop. And I realized that I was accessing a whole bunch of emotion. And simultaneously, I recognized that I was experiencing shame about experiencing these emotions. And the way that I was embodying it in that moment was trying to minimize the fact that I was sitting there crying, that I didn't want my husband to know or judge me, as if he would. And that's the shame talking. I wasn't reacting to the here and now. My husband sees all sorts of emotions come out of me, and he rolls with them because I embody them as they come up. And so it was a really interesting thing to witness myself not wanting to be actively crying about a movie. And on some level, I was minimizing the emotions that were rolling through me. And so I witnessed it. I noticed it. And then I just allowed myself to cry. I allowed myself to feel the depth of the emotion that I was feeling as this woman in the movie was losing her mom. And all of the things that went with that emotionally for her. And when I was able to feel the shame that I was experiencing, and really feel it in my body, something unlocked inside of me. Working through the shame around being emotional brought me into this really beautiful place of freedom. I didn't realize just how much I was holding back my emotions because I didn't want to be that emotional female who's crying at a movie because culturally, society, family of origin, wherever I've learned it, as I've moved through the human experience, has said that the feminine emotion is not acceptable, or that's what I received. And when I looked at the ridiculousness of that and said, I'm going to be with the truth of the feelings that I'm feeling, and I'm just going to allow myself to be fully present with them and to fully experience them, whatever that looks like. Whether it is bawling, whether it is sobbing, whether it's just silently allowing tears to stream down my face, I wasn't trying to control it so that I wouldn't be judged. I just allowed it to be what it was. I was with the truth of my feelings. And it was so freeing. There was so much freedom that opened up inside of me. And as I felt that freedom, something else unlocked inside of me. And I was able to see other aspects of my life where I am making myself small because I'm afraid that someone is going to judge me. And I was able to witness all of these places in my life where shame is holding me back. Shame of feeling, shame of the feminine, shame of my intuition. Shame, 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 shame. And if you take courses with me, you know that shame is something that I talk about a lot because I believe wholeheartedly that shame is one of the most difficult emotions for us to feel. And it is also an emotion that holds us back from authenticity, that holds us back from deeper levels of alignment and expansion. And so frequently, shame is the emotion that prevents us from stepping into the next expression of us. And when we're willing to feel the shame, even if it doesn't make sense, even if it's not from the here and now, because the majority of the time it is not from the here and now, there is some piece of us that is stuck in another time and space where we experience shame, and it was too much for our nervous system to handle in the moment that we were experiencing it. And so that piece of us is stuck in another time, another space. And when we have enough resource in our nervous system to actually be able to feel the shame and bring that piece of us back into congruence with the here and now, back into presence, we reclaim that part of us, all sorts of things unlock. And that evening, I was able to see myself and the human experience in a very, very different way. And from that place of freedom, the felt sense of freedom inside of my body, all sorts of things, possibilities, potential opened up inside of my physical body, inside of my energy body. New thought patterns came in, new concepts, new ideas, personally, professionally, around money, around business, around family, around my children, around myself, around my relationships. All sorts of things opened up from the place of freedom. And I think that feeling true freedom inside of our nervous system, the absence of shame, opens up all sorts of things in our reality. And since I had that experience, things have been moving rapidly in my reality in a way that is just so beautiful for me to get to experience. And I wanted to take a moment and tell this story because I think that there are a couple pieces there that are really, really important. And the first is that when we put ourselves in an energetic space and place for expansion, it happens. And when we allow ourselves to feel our feelings, the truth of our feelings, even if they don't make sense on paper, including the shame of the feelings, it unlocks all sorts of things in our reality. And so if you have shame that is preventing you from fully embodying who you are, the authenticity, the uniqueness of who you are in this human experience, then I just want to invite you to allow yourself to feel the shame. And when you do, when you're willing to actually feel the shame inside of your body, I'm also willing to bet that it is going to open something inside of you that is going to be nothing short of magical. I hope that wherever it is that this podcast is finding you, that you are having a beautiful morning, day, evening, or night. And I really appreciate you being here with us at Rose Quartz Mediumship podcast.